Hi, I'm Sue Kennedy, the CEO and founder of Author Academy. Welcome to this episode. Today I would like to share with you how to find ideas on what to write about. Firstly, before we dive in, I would like to suggest a couple of things to keep in mind. As a writer, you will get people asking you where you got the idea for your book. As writers, we are creative and full of ideas. However, we don't always write down the ideas that come to us, and that one time you don't could well be the most epic story. How do we prevent this from happening? The best way is to create an ideas file, either a folder on your computer, the old-fashioned paper one, or create a journal where you jot down by writing and drawing your ideas. Whatever works best for you. The one thing I found was that ideas came to me when I was not near my computer, so I made sure that there was paper and pen in strategic places where I got most of my ideas flowing through. For example, on my bedside table, in the kitchen, or in my car. So what are the places where you get most of your ideas flowing through? Find those places and make sure you have pen and paper on hand ready to go. Another great option is to record your ideas on your phone. One thing to remember is that if some of your ideas don't make any sense, that's fine. Just be sure to write them down anyway. It's amazing how our subconscious does know, and it will let you know when you need this great idea. So whenever thoughts come through, simply write them down. It could be the title for your book, your chapters, dialogues, or perhaps characters, settings, or plots. It most certainly will be something amazing. For me, each time I was about to write a book, I had a pretty good idea on what the topic would be. However, I did have some techniques I used to guide me through the process, and I would like to share those with you as it might be helpful to you. So for me, I meditated. I sat quietly in nature, which was surrounded by trees, birds singing, water, sunshine and fresh air. I listened to music. I took a walk with my phone, just in case any great ideas came to mind while I was doing that. I had a nice long but hot bath with a notepad this time. I sat quietly in a comfortable chair or lounge with my eyes closed, allowing thoughts to wander in and making sure that I wrote down everything that came through. I didn't want to miss a thing. When you are thinking of ideas to write about, it is really important to make sure that the topic you choose is something you are passionate about, and make sure it's something that will help or guide your readers. Let me share my story about my book on anxiety and depression. The main intention initially for this book was to help heal myself. You see, prior to writing this book, I was at rock bottom, ready to end my life. Through a chain of events that happened over the course of a few years. My marriage breakdown, the loss of my beautiful dog, who meant everything to me, the loss of my dream home, the loss of all income, no money in the bank, flat broke. Every turn I took was bad. I felt like this spiral was out of control, and I really couldn't take any more. I was done. I wanted out of this life. The only thing that stopped me that day from ending my life was the look in the eyes of my two beautiful dogs. The worry, the love. How could I possibly do this to them? I decided in that split second that I needed to keep going, not only for me, but my dogs. At the time all this was happening, I did not realise that I was severely anxious and depressed. It was something that was never spoken about in my household. I didn't really understand much about it, really. So my next step was to find out more and then write about anxiety and depression, so that I could not only heal myself, but perhaps along the way I would be able to help others get out of that darkness and see the light once more. Writing that book was my saviour. It was where my writing journey began, and where helping others heal started. It was the beginning of my business model. However, I did not realise that at the time. Perhaps you don't know exactly what you would like to write about. So here are 5 ideas that helped me along the way. 1. The first step is to work out which books you like to read and what kind of movies you like to watch. You see, what you like to read or watch is a really great place to start when it comes to writing your book. 2. Take a look at your bookshelf. What kind of books do you have? Are they crime, fantasy, thrillers, romance, or mysteries? Or perhaps you have dreamt about writing a children's book, or maybe your life story. We all have events and experiences that happen in our lifetime that can help others. You might not think so, but I can assure you it will. In my experience as an author coach, many of my beloveds have written the most amazing books that have not only helped themselves, but many, many others. 3. Ask yourself the question, do the movies I watch reflect the books I like to read? This could be a great way to figure out what you would like to write about as well. It's quite common to write a book on what you love to read about. 4. A great exercise is to make a list of what type of stories light you up. At first you may not know why you love a certain book. However, once you make a list, you will be surprised what shows up. 5. Try the following exercise. But don't think about the questions for too long. Simply jot down whatever comes to your mind first. So what are 3 genres or novel types that interest you the most? What are 3 types of plots you enjoy the most? What are 3 types of characters you are drawn to the most? What are 3 themes that appear in the stories you enjoy most? What are 3 settings you would like to write about most? Here are 6 more ways to help you get ideas and inspiration for your story. Do some research. A great place to start is to read blogs, magazines, newspapers, or websites. Keep looking until you find something that sparks some interest or inspiration. I'll talk more on this in the next video. Next, do an image search. Look for images of different types of places and or characters that inspire you. Every picture tells a story. Take a really good look at the images and see what inspirations come from it. Don't forget to save these images in your ideas folder, making sure to write down what inspiration or ideas you have around that particular image. You might like the scenery or the colours that could work well in your book. Images are a really powerful trigger because they can draw you in just as good as a book draws in readers. Play with names. Putting a name to your character or setting can be very powerful. Start looking at billboards, street signs, magazines, or even baby names to help you find names for your characters. Another great idea is to gather different names from various sources and put those names together to come up with a really, really cool name. The other thing you could do is start watching people. This is a great way to gather some really amazing ideas. Go and sit in a coffee shop or a shopping complex and watch people as they go about their day. Don't forget to take your pen and notepad. Write down what intrigues you about each person. Make up a story about them. How could you turn them into one of the characters in your story? The other thing you could do is listen to music. Music is a great source of inspiration. Play some music, any music. Close your eyes and visualize the type of character that would listen to this song. Again, don't forget to write down the ideas that come to you. If you are still stuck for ideas, stop and think about what your strengths, interests and passions are. Remember that you are going to have to write about the topic you select, so you need to make sure it's something you are willing to spend time on day in and day out until your book is complete. Here is a simple creative exercise that can help you discover an amazing book title. Step 1. Set a timer for 30 minutes. Make sure you will not be interrupted by anyone or anything. Grab a notepad and pen. This works best done by hand, not computer. Close your eyes and think of your ideal reader. See him or her sitting in your lounge room with you asking for your help. Take a minute to bring that vision in front of you. Listen to what this person is saying to you. What is their problem? What are you saying to help them overcome this problem? Now open your eyes and write down the following sentence starter. My book helps. Fill in the blank by describing your ideal reader. 2. Fill in the blank by listing the problem you solve in your book so that they can fill in the blank the ultimate benefit of solving the problem. So an example is, my book helps small business owners spot great candidates during the first 10 minutes of a job interview so that they can build a dependable and productive team. Another example, my book helps new coaches who hate selling to attract new clients confidentially so that their coaching business becomes profitable in 90 days or less. This sentence is called the problem and/or benefit statement for your book. This one sentence statement clarifies your book topic and gives you a sense of direction. We will discover the next step to this exercise in episode 3. In the next episode, we will cover different ways to research information about your ideas for your book. See you in the next episode.